Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Alex Hearn, and I'm Professor of Marine Biology at Universidad San Francisco de Quito in Ecuador. I've worked in Galapagos for 20 years, and for much of that time, I've been fortunate to have the support and partnership of the Galapagos Conservation Trust. My research is aimed at understanding the role of oceanic islands in the ecology of endangered migratory marine species, and as such, I look outward from Galapagos across the eastern tropical Pacific, to Costa Rica's Cocos Island, 600 kilometers north of Galapagos, or to Colombia's Malpelo, 400 kilometers northeast, and even as far as Coiba on the coast of Panama and Revillagigedo in the Mexican Pacific. Around 15 years ago, this regional outlook prompted my colleagues from all these locations and myself to create Migramar, a network whose mission is to generate the science needed to protect endangered migratory marine species across the region, and to train the next generation of scientists in our countries who will continue our work into the future. Since our creation, the total area of protected ocean here has increased fourfold, from 156,000 square kilometers to 630,000 square kilometers at present. Every single square kilometer of additional protection has occurred with the help of the science generated by Migramar members, and as president of the Migramar board, this makes me immensely proud. Protecting ocean wildlife is key to securing a better future for our planet. Many highly migratory marine species play important roles in the marine ecosystem. Some, such as yellowfin tuna, are commercial species and support one of the largest industrial tuna fleets on the planet, plus a semi-industrial longline fleet based out of mainland Ecuador, not to mention the artisanal fleet in Ecuador. Sustainable use of tuna in this region means sustainable livelihoods and food security. Other species, such as the blue sharks we're tracking at the moment, are high-level predators and can influence the distribution and behavior of their prey, leading to cascading effects down the food chain. Others, such as the critically endangered scalloped hammerhead sharks we tagged last week, can provide important nutrient links between coastal and open water regions. Still others provide us with a window into the evolution of life on this planet, and with technological or medical insights that create jobs or improve lives. Across the globe, the lives of these species have been enshrined in our stories, our beliefs, and our culture. Many of them are highly charismatic. Each year, thousands of divers come to Galapagos to swim with the world's largest fish, the elusive whale shark that appears at Darwin Island from July through November. Sharks alone generate at least $20 million each year for tourism in Galapagos, between boat charters, park entry fees, hotels, food, and even souvenirs. If we factor in seabirds and turtles as well, the number likely doubles or trebles. However, nearly a quarter of a century after the creation of the Galapagos Marine Reserve, these highly mobile and migratory species are facing new threats. There has been an unprecedented increase in fishing effort. The Ecuadorian purse seine tuna fleet alone has tripled its capacity since the turn of the century. Boats now deploy thousands of fish aggregation devices that sweep across the ocean, gathering fish that can then be easily encircled by purse seine nets. This now threatens the sustainability of the tuna fishery itself and vulnerable species such as silky sharks. The national-based longline fleet that operates in the waters surrounding Galapagos simply does not have observers. Are critically endangered waved albatross getting caught on their hooks just as they are caught on hooks off their foraging grounds in Peru? Do they entangle endangered marine turtles, as do longlines elsewhere? We just don't know. This is unacceptable. But the threats are not limited to fishing. Added to climate change, plastic pollution, and degradation of key coastal reproductive grounds, it is of little surprise that of a list of 30 sharks, turtles, and seabirds, only 2 have improved their conservation status since 2000, and nearly half have deteriorated. Although taxonomically they're far apart, these species all share common traits. They're long-lived, slow-growing, mature late in life, and have few offspring. This makes them highly susceptible to increased mortality, and right now their biggest threat is us. We need to reverse these trends. For the last 2 years, I've had the privilege of leading a multidisciplinary and multinational team of researchers to compile all the biological and socioeconomic science in the waters surrounding the Galapagos Marine Reserve. We use this information to develop scenarios that address the multiple existing and emerging threats facing the islands, and to inform the grassroots Más Galapagos campaign, which was advocating for increased protection around the islands. These scenarios included a combination of different sized new marine reserves, temporal fishing closures, and responsible fishing areas as we move towards spatial management of the entire EEZ. Each scenario, however, identified the region between Galapagos and Cocos Islands as key migratory area that merits protection, a swimway. This is why President Lasso's announcement in December to create the Hermandad Marine Reserve is an important step in the right direction. It directly addresses the conservation of highly migratory marine species by creating a 30,000 square kilometer no-take corridor from Galapagos all the way to the border of Costa Rica along this swimway, fringed by a further 30,000 square kilometers of no longline area, which will afford protection to those sharks, turtles, and seabirds that are at risk of entanglement. The name Hermandad, meaning sisterhood or brotherhood, refers to how the government achieved consensus across the board prior to its creation. However, it could also be taken as a nod to the ongoing regional efforts by Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, and Costa Rica to protect our shared mobile marine resources. And indeed, some of the next steps are in the hands of our neighbors. Costa Rica has recently expanded Cocos Island National Park and has created a bicentennial management area down to the Ecuadorian border and Hermandad Reserve. It is of paramount importance that this management area contain a no-take corridor that completes the swimway running from Hermandad all the way to Cocos, thus giving sharks and turtles the opportunity to traverse the entire swimway without encountering a single hook. If Costa Rica does not do this, the gains we expect from Hermandad will be seriously dissipated. Likewise, within the existing Galapagos Marine Reserve, we need to end the endless debate on longlining. Nearly 25 years and at least 5 experimental fisheries later, certain groups within the islands continue to use longlines illegally and to push for their approval. Galapagos cannot be the only marine reserve in the world with a no longline zone outside its waters. The Galapagos National Park authorities need better legal tools to enforce the ban, but more than that, longlining represents one side of 2 divergent visions for fisheries in Galapagos. Through longlining, an external middleman is able to support and export large volumes of fish to foreign markets, paying rock-bottom prices to local fishermen, in a situation reminiscent of the sea cucumber exploitation 2 decades ago. The priority is volume, and there is little thought given to the biological impacts. In contrast, there are initiatives such as Galapagos Artisanal Seafood, where quality is prized over quantity, where responsible fishing methods are used, traceability is ensured through camera systems, and fish can be filleted, vacuum packed, and delivered to your doorstep in Quito the next day. This is the kind of initiative I believe in, the kind of initiative that benefits from the support and training provided by NGOs and academia across the globe. The Galapagos brand name and the traceability command higher prices. To return to Hermandad, we need to develop and implement financially and logistically sustainable monitoring and enforcement plans. We need to ensure that there is transparency in terms of human activities around the new reserve. Our team at USFQ and Migramar have already begun to develop a baseline for the new reserve and are planning an expedition to collect data later in the year. Further, we need to ensure that our methods can be standardized across the region, such that we can speak to the effectiveness of these MPAs and the sustainability of the entire Eastern Tropical Pacific. With your support, I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues at the Galapagos National Park Directorate, USFQ's Galapagos Science Center, Migramar, GCT, Hugh Bertarelli Ocean Legacy, Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation, and other organizations as we address all these issues. Hermandad will not solve all the threats to our marine environment, but it does set a precedent regionally as an open invitation for our neighboring states to join the sisterhood. Thank you.